We invited you here to give you an earth-shaking announcement that from this day forward, we will be challenged to prove. But if you watch us, if you listen to us, I guarantee you every nation and every kingdom on earth will be rocked by the power coming from this tiny little budding nation that Jesus described as a mustard seed. That's right. But when it germinates and grows and spreads its branches, every fowl and every bird will find a refuge under its wings. You are looking at the birth not just of the nation of Islam, but the birth of the kingdom of God Almighty on earth. You Muslim scholars, you are looking at the birth of the kingdom of Islam. We called you here like the wise men of old who saw a star and they traveled to where the baby was. The baby had no room to come to birth. She had to give birth in a manger, or come to birth in a manger. The wise men who saw the baby came bringing gold. What baby needs gold? All babies that I know of need milk. But here's a baby that needs gold. Gold for what? It's not talking about a child being born from a single mother. It's talking about a nation coming to birth that needs gold to build its own institutions and carve out a destiny for itself. Satisfied until we have the college level on the University of Islam. And if you help me by doing what you can in the economic field, Muslims, you shouldn't be around here looking to white people to give you a job. Go look in message to the black man and the economic blueprint. And if there are 4 of you, 6 of you, 8 of you together, pool your resources, go into business and set up business all over the south and west side of Chicago. I would like to see at least 100 millionaires among the Muslims in Chicago. If you're rich, I'm rich. And I can always come and tell you about the needs of a nation. But if you poor and we poor, hell man, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims. And if you obey Allah, there's no reason why you can't make a business successful. You just have to get up and stop being lazy and trifling and go do something for yourself. So we're going to put together a trade delegation of Muslims and, well, everybody's a Muslim. But there are those who have not confessed Islam, but they are brilliant in business. We made promises to governments, and we're going to fulfill our promise. There's all kinds of investment opportunities. Diamonds, gold, uranium, oil.
I mean, you name it, Africa is open. And the Europeans are coming in with money and they're taking Africa. Well, why can't we go? They're ready to sell gold mines to us. They're ready for us to develop gold. Well, where's Michael Jackson? Where's Shaq O'Neal? We need to pull our moneyed people together and let's do some business now, because we can't build a nation on the charity of the believer. We can only build a nation on a strong economic foundation that's built on business, agriculture, agribusiness. Yes, sir. Thank you.
And today, in 2013, we are in December of this year, 100 years since the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank and the Internal Revenue Service and the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. And since then, America's debt has gone from $2 billion to more than $16.4 trillion. Now, they set these institutions up to work in unity. The Federal Reserve, the IRS, and the ADL. One was to create debt. The other was to enforce a tax policy to take from the American citizens enough to pay that debt. And the watchdog of the whole thing was to see who would recognize who did this. And that's when the Anti-Defamation League would raise the cry of anti-Semitism. And now, America is seeing herself in ruin because of it. Though they're telling you the inflation rate is a low 1.7%, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke is now running the printing presses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to prop up a falling economy with money that is backed by nothing. The money that they are printing has no value. It's phony money, fiat money. Every month, the Federal Reserve is flooding the monetary system with $85 billion in fiat or phony money. It is valueless paper that makes whatever wages we earn lose its value. They can pacify us with the talk of recovery, but your bill for milk, for bread, for oil, for gasoline, for cereal, for butter, for transportation, for the essential goods that make life livable for the American people, those prices are skyrocketing. Yet your wages are not keeping pace. You're making $7 and a few pennies hourly wage. Well, now we have 29 states under severe drought, ruining crops and livestock with one major storm after another, and all the calamities that are happening. This only adds to the pressure on an economy that is already on life support. Now the people are being taxed to pay for this.
but the debt is so far beyond what little the people have that they can never pay it down. And to tax the people further would deprive them more of the essentials of life, which they are barely getting now. The fact is that we are now facing the grim reality that everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad predicted has now come to pass.
That we must now do something for ourselves or suffer the consequences. If we cannot depend on the government to look after us, then who can we depend on? Many of us are being lulled to sleep by the so-called atmosphere of peace and tranquility produced by the breakup of the Soviet Union and by the nations appearing to unite with America. And Mr. Bush seems to be riding the crest of a mighty wave that has put him on top of the nations of the earth. And he seems to be saying, like Babylon, I sit as a queen and I shall see no sorrow. But in the night, a hand started writing on the wall. Your kingdom has been weighed in the balance and found wanting. You cannot depend on President Bush or no president, whether it is Bush or Wilder or Jackson or Johnson. Nobody who sits in the White House will be able to deliver for black people. There's something you have to know about this in order that you may not depend on government to do for you what you and I have got to get up now and do for ourselves. Listen to me carefully. Just a casual look in the newspapers will tell you that all the economies of the Western world are in a decline. That's right. That's right. Great Britain, decline. That's right. France, decline. Belgium, decline. Spain, Portugal, Italy, decline. West Germany was a thriving economy, but they had to spend tremendous amounts of money in the reunification. So their economy is not as strong. So the European nations, in their weakness, decided, let's unite. That's right. And in 1992, the common market of Europe will kick in, making Europe possibly the biggest market for goods in the world. America, as the leader of the Western world, is in a dying economic situation. The dollar appears strong, but is backed by no sound value. Are you listening to me, brothers and sisters? Banks closing. That's right. President Bush spending more time on foreign policy while the domestic scene begins to unravel. That's right. America is a strong country, all right, but not as strong. And the future looks dim, according to analysts. 10 years ago, among the 6 major banks in the world, 1 or 2 were American banks. Now,
In the top 20, you may find one American bank. The capital of finance, you would think, is Wall Street. But the number one economy in the world is Japan. And she has been number. We have got to develop an economic program to save our people. This economic program must not be tied to a people's belief. We can't ask black people, are you Muslim or Christian or Baptist or Methodist or Episcopalian or Church of God in Christ? Are you a Democrat or Republican? You're black and you're catching hell, and we are a family, so we've got to make a program for all or for none at all. Now, you know, President Johnson promised us he would make a war on poverty, and then sent money to fight the war in Vietnam. And here we are today, poor, ragged, hungry, naked, out of doors, and we are becoming more and more savage every day in our evil mistreatment of one another. It's hard today to say to black people that white people are evil when it's your black brother coming in your door, taking your TV, robbing you, raping you, shooting you down. It's no longer white people doing this. It is us doing it to one another. And we have become so cold and callous that our own lives mean nothing to us. If we can't depend on America and the government, then what program is available that we can get busy and do something for self? I'm saying to the Muslims, if we set up a restaurant, that is not going to help black people. You set up a little bakery on the south side, I mean, that's nice. You give a few jobs, you know, that's nice. We'll applaud you. And people will say, oh, the Muslims got a restaurant. Oh, the Muslims got a bakery. Oh. The Muslims got a little factory over there, employs 100 people. Oh. The Christians got a little store over here. Oh. But look at the suffering of our people. It's broader than a little mom and pop operation. It's bigger than what individual churches can do or mosques can do. The problem is so large. We'll never solve it with millions of dollars. It takes billions of dollars to solve this problem. Set aside $10. 10 million people with $10 in 1 month, that's 100 million. In 1 year, that's 1,200,000,000 in our bank. Now look at this, brothers. Three years from now, if that just stayed at that rate, it'd be nearly $4 billion plus the interest on it. We would have to find a safe instrument to put it in till we're ready to use it, because the banks are not too safe.
And we sure can't put it in a savings account that only insures $100,000. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, with the first $1 million, we would set up our own National Reserve Bank. I will be sitting down this week with some bankers because I want to understand how to set up a national banking system. You're not getting nothing from white folks in their banks and hardly getting anything from black banks. You put your money in, you get 5%, 5 1/4, 5 1/8. Your money is loaned out at 12%, 14%. You go to get a car loan, they may not give you the loan unless you got something in your bank equal to what you're asking them to loan you. You are so disunited, somebody can sell you life insurance. You paying for insurance for your life. And all these nickels, dimes, and dollars that they're collecting on life insurance in every major city of America, it's the insurance companies that are building all these fine office buildings, ain't got nobody in them. Well, if everybody's buying up America, the Japanese buying it, the Dutch buying it, the British buying it, the Koreans buying it, why don't we own a piece of the rock? Well, what would we buy? I know you would want me to buy a barbecue stand. I'm only teasing. You might want me to buy something frivolous, a hotel, a motel. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the thing that all economics is built on is land. We have got to own some of this earth that we can call our own. I'm going to give you a picture and then we'll leave. Joseph in the Bible was sold into bondage, and he became a master in the land where he was sold as a slave because he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and he was given the key to what? The grain house. So they had to try to defeat the prophet's reputation. Look at the words they use. Look at what they said to Pastor Barrett. Look at what they said on television. It is a possible pyramid scheme. They didn't say it was in fact that. They didn't really know what it was. They could have dealt with a pyramid. What was it? See? Force them to show their hand. Some believe, look at the words in the press, some believe it to be a pyramid scheme. T.L. Barrett believes it to be an economic development plan. Well, then let's pit our two beliefs together, either in the world or in a court of law. Because if we believe it's an economic development plan, then prove it. And if they believe it's a scheme, then let them prove it. We ain't got a damn thing to prove to rich people except that we're poor and trying to get the hell out of it. What do we have to prove to them? Did you ever ask the Chinese how they built Chinatown? How many of you talk to the Chinese? Mr. Wong, how did you get so many Chinese restaurants in the black community? Was it a business loan from the government? You didn't ask that, did you? Did you? The Koreans just got here a few days ago. Did you ever ask the Koreans, Mr. Korean, sir, how did you get so many businesses in the black community so fast and just got here yesterday? Did you ask them? The Palestinian refugees, the Lebanese, the people of the Middle East whose area is torn up with war and devastation, and they arrive in America penniless. Did you ever ask them, brother Palestinian, how did you get so many stores in the black community and just got here yesterday? The reason you don't know is because they're not on television. Didn't you hear the old rap, the revolution will not be televised? The Chinese are not trying to get on Channel 2 telling you how they built up Chinatown. You don't find the Cubans coming on TV. Hi, y'all. My name is Salvador Sanchez. I am a man that just came from Cuba. The communist Fidel Castro drove me out, but thanks to God, I have $20 million now. And I want to show all of you silly people how I got it out of your pocket. You don't hear from the Cubans. You don't hear from the Haitians. You don't hear from the Vietnamese. You don't hear from the Palestinians. You don't hear from nobody who comes to America and networks their money. Go ahead. They got a network going. Have you ever asked the Greeks, how come the Greeks own all these restaurants in every major city in America? Have you ever said anything to anybody? You ain't under any obligation to tell your enemy what you are doing to get the hell out from under his yoke. Go ahead. I would like to see at least 100 millionaires among the Muslims in Chicago. If you're rich, I'm rich. And I can always come and tell you about the needs of a nation. But if you poor and we poor, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims.
All right, greetings everyone. How's everyone doing? Glad that you can make it to a beautiful, powerful stream that we have put together to celebrate the 5th year anniversary of Forward Money Network, which started 5 years ago yesterday, May 11, 2017. Was founded by me and the co-founder, my brother Leon 1X. We both started Forward Money Network, this brand, with $500 a piece out of our pocket. And it also is the birth anniversary of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is the inspiration and the motivation for us creating this network and this brand. So that's why we played clips from him that we have been showing over the years about what needs to be done economically, what needs to be done for our financial freedom and our financial independence when it comes to us being in America and throughout the world as well, and when it comes to business, because it's three sciences that the enemy kept away from us when we was on the plantation and coming off the physical plantation, and that was the science of business, the science of mating, and the science of warfare. Now, in those three sciences, it groups up all the rest, or the key to the rest of the sciences is in those three: the science of business, the science of mating, and the science of warfare. The enemy would never teach us that, and they never set up an institution in America to teach us that. So we are so thankful to Allah God for coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad to give us, the descendants of slaves, these sciences. And we thank him for putting this message and finding a man that was tough enough, that was strong enough and humble enough to carry out this mission and be a weapon for us. The first begotten of the dead, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. But we also thank those two, because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad knew his work was only going to last for 40 years. He knew he was going to leave, but he knew we would not be free. We would be in a worse condition than we was prior to being on the plantation. So we needed some more grace. We needed another 40 plus years to get us through what's happening, through the war of Armageddon. So we thank Allah, Master Fard Muhammad, and we thank the first begotten of the dead, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, for finding the minister and making him our guide, our clear guide to navigate through this wilderness that we're living in, and to put us on top of civilization if we want to be. So we thank Allah, and we thank the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for preparing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we dedicated Fard Money Network to the minister's mission, but on the economic tip, right? We dedicate that. And we dedicate, this is what Fard Money Network is all geared around, us teaching outright the science of business, the science of money, the science of banking, in the science of warfare, and also we also teach the science of network marketing. Because network marketing is a clear way for us to get individual riches, right? And it's a clear way for us to everybody to win in a system where everybody can get the equal pay or the equal amount or whatever we doing, whatever network marketing we get involved with. If we're not going to create our own, then we're going to get in one. The wealthy always look for networks. They look for systems. But now, Fard Money Network, we have advanced from just network marketing. Oh no, we started off with that, right? But we have advanced now, 5 years later, to now we into decentralized blockchain technology banking. So what we doing now is on a 10 to what we was doing when we first started. And just to give a quick story, we was laughed at, we was mocked, because when we first started, we wasn't making a lot of money. I wasn't making a lot of money. And I was laughed at. I was mocked. I was told it wouldn't work. I was even told from some of the people in network marketing that I couldn't be an outright Farrakhan soldier, be a religious person, which I'm really not. I'm not a religious person at all, right? If you find somebody in the nation and they are a religious person, then they misunderstand the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings of the minister. The teachings that we teach is pure science. You just have to deal with it, right? Now we have a religious structure to the organization side of the Nation of Islam, right? But what we teach is pure science. So it's for everybody, regardless if you want to join the mob and get inside of the organizational structure or the way the nation is structured, that's another topic. But what we teach is for everybody because it's pure science to everything. Everything that makes up everything. It makes up you. That makes up other than yourself. That makes up the universe. True history about what happened and what is about to happen and what is happening, right? So we teach that. So people told me I wouldn't be successful in network marketing and be a religious person at the same time, meaning I couldn't advocate or be an outright person that's saying I'm a Muslim. Like, because you got network marketers who make millions of dollars, but you will never hear them talk about what their religion is. They never talk about their political side either, and I understand it. But we, Forward Money Network, we come to make trends. Because, see, when you accept Islam taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it gives us our own culture. We don't follow no culture. We don't follow nothing. So anything we get in, we are going to rise to the top if we stay with it. Why? Because we don't get in no endeavor, no industry, no profession without trying to master it. All right? So we are, I'm not saying that I have mastered it, right? But that's the goal. That's my mindset. It's to master network marketing. It's to master business. It's to master teaching this science. Not so much as me being a tech blockchain developer, but be able to break it down so you can see it. Break it down about network marketing. Master the language so you can hear the message and understand that your financial salvation is right in your faith if you want it to be. And it ain't just about you. See, in Forward Money Network, we got a whole team rich mentality. So we don't promote nothing if it ain't going to put no money in your pocket and if it ain't going to raise you up in consciousness. So we promote certain books. We promote newspapers. We promote certain articles, certain stories that you can learn from and raise your financial IQ and raise your spiritual IQ. So you won't look at stuff on the surface. That's what we all about. And I want to thank all the supporters, all of the subscribers, all of the members, whether you still with us in Forward Money Network or whether you joined and you left. Ain't no hard feelings with us. Whether you lied or you didn't lie, you just left. Right? Ain't no hard feelings with us. It's all love. We thank you for the support and whatever you did to contribute to us staying afloat for these 5 years because we was against all the odds. But we are still here and we stronger and we moving fast and growing fast than we ever have. And we are here to stay. Why? Because I have dedicated my life and my family life to us understanding who the real crooks are. Let's segue to that. Right? This ain't the typical crypto morning. It's just coming at the time that we do crypto mornings, right? So tomorrow we'll be back to that. Yesterday we didn't have the stream prepared in time enough. We had a lot of stuff that we had to do. So I couldn't make the stream at 10 o'clock and really do this. But, you know, we just a day, the next day. So we still celebrating the 5th year anniversary of Forward Money Network, the creation of Forward Money Network, our financial global brand, which is we teach financial education and we'll teach asset accumulation and we show people how to get rich. I don't care about what people talking about. There's a get rich quick scheme. All right, what you want to do? Stay broke slow? Well, the choice is yours. You can get rich quick or stay broke slow. Or you can get rich slow. Which what you want to do? But it is a get rich plan and a get rich opportunity that we bring into the masses. Anybody, any color, any religion, any race, any part of the planet, you can become a Forward Money Network member. Yeah, you can. Because this is what we do, and we're going to show you how to be a what? A new millennium banker. Because last year, we launched our second brand, New Millennium Bankers. All right? So not only do we have Forward Money Network intact, which is our main platform, but we also have created another brand, New Millennium Bankers, and we have the youth, and we have the millenniums, which I'm a millennium myself. We have the millenniums leading the charge of New Millennium Bankers. So right now, we probably have the more young people in our network than any other network. And I ain't talking about just a network where people come together talking. No, we all making money over here, legitly. We all in cryptocurrency. We all in real estate. We all into all the stuff that we need, right, to build long-term generational wealth and to experience financial freedom and financial independence. All right? So, the Federal Reserve, see, this is why Forward Money Network is here. See, we're here because the minister, he has been wanting somebody to stand up and break this down. Yeah, we got the books, but nobody has brought out a system. Nobody has a social media platform where they is straight up in teaching this science on a regular, day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis. That's Forward Money Network. Yeah, that's us. That's what we do. All right? So you're not going to see anybody look like us. You're not going to see anybody talk like us. All right? But this is what we do. We want to teach you about this system here. It's the Federal Reserve. Now, let's go to the structure of the Federal Reserve. The structure of the Federal Reserve has board members, has 4 of them. They have a chairman of the board. There you go right there, Jerome Powell. The Federal Reserve also have a Federal Open Market Committee where they decide every week or every month on what to do with all of the lucrative cash that they got coming to this system. Now, these players here, these 4 here are all Zionist Jew. The chairman of the board is a Zionist Jew. All right? A Zionist Jew. And then say a Jew. A Zionist Jew is a different, that's not an Orthodox Jew, that's not a Messianic Jew, and that's not a black Jew. Okay? That's a Zionist. That's the pro-Israelis. They mainly come out of Europe. They are also referred to as Ashkenazi Jews. All right? And they come out of Europe. Now, this system was put together and headed by the House of Rothschild. The House of Rothschild are the first bankers of this Western world. They're the first known bankers of the European world, the House of Rothschild. All right? And with the House of Rothschild, you had the Rockefellers, you had the J.P. Morgans, you had the DuPonts and the Wahlbergs, who took over the United States economy in 1913. So here's the board of governors, the board members. It's 4 of them, with Jerome Powell is the head. Then they have 12 Federal Reserve banks. 12 Federal Reserve banks. All right? They got a bank in Boston, Massachusetts, a bank in New York, New York, a bank in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio, Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Kansas City, Missouri, Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, California. And the board sits in Washington, D.C. That's where that started. All right. Now, if you stay in those cities that I just named, or you have been to those cities, is it a homeless problem going on in those cities? I know Atlanta has a homeless problem. All right. And not only these are the 12 major banks, but they also have minor bank branches throughout other cities and a lot more than just these 12. But these 12, they oversee the credit unions in the banking systems that we bank with, because you can't go to this bank and set up a bank account. And ain't that type of bank. So they don't have any reserves. They don't have any deposits. They have zero bank balance. But they're a bank. They consider themselves a bank. But they control everything that we know about money. Gold prices, silver prices. They control real estate market, interest rates, student loans, business loans, housing loans, red line, all of this stuff here. See, they allowed the man, I don't have his name right now, I had to get the book, but they allowed, back when you had the big fall or the big crash in 2008 called the Great Recession, they allowed a man to do subprime loans, mortgage loans, to inferior families that they knew was going to default on the loan. And that man that put that company together, I think it was they was a branch of Bank of America, I want to say. I had to get the book, but we have taught on it before to give you the specific names. But they made like $15 billion in a couple of years from giving out those subprime loans. And what they was knowing that this person, a 9 out of 10 chances that the person was going to default on the loan, so they can go back and the Federal Reserve will scoop up the mortgage-backed security and get the security to get the mortgages back. That's why right now the Federal Reserve is supposed to own more real estate than anybody in America. So when you get a mortgage, you're paying them. And if you default on it, they're going to get it back. And if you don't pay your property taxes, they're going to get it. Because the Federal Reserve owns the government. Let me say that again, because I know some of y'all didn't hear that. The Federal Reserve owns the government. And anybody that's scripture, if you Muslim or Christian or Jew, if the book in the Bible is your book, what does the Bible say about somebody loaning you money? And what does the Quran say about it? Right? Well, the Holy Quran say that Allah is against usury. So he against the practice of the Federal Reserve and the international banker because they like loan sharkers. So he against this credit when we paying these high interest rates. All right? Then the Bible say that the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's what the Bible say. I didn't write it. I didn't write that. All right, that's in the book. That's what it say. Okay, so if they have loaned trillions of dollars to the American government, and the American government is taxing the citizens to supposed to pay this debt, but we only paying the interest, never paying the principal, so it keeps it a perpetuating debt system, and that's why the Federal Reserve is printing trillions and billions of dollars per day. Billions of dollars, millions of dollars per day. Trillions of dollars per year. Why? Because it keeps the economy puffed up. It keeps us in illusion, not being able to see the real scam, and they continue to get interest. Because as long as America is getting stimulus checks and getting these bonds and sending out these checks and inflating the economy, as long as we work and pay taxes, they will continue to get paid from the debt because we only paying the interest. We never paying the principal. So they have set this up, and it's been going on for 108 years. So let's look at the debt clock. But we just wanted to come on here and celebrate and let everybody get an understanding on what Forward Money Network is truly all about. Because you might didn't know what we was about. You might think we were just trying to get you to get a commission off of you. No, we're gonna do that anyway. All right. And we're in the asset accumulation, so we're gonna get paid anyway. Right? So, but we can't put what we do in front of smart people without them getting in. Let me say that again. What we do in Forward Money Network, we can't show you how we make money and what we doing. And if you smart, you're gonna get in. Any smart person, we show it to you, they join it. They don't care about this other stuff. Why? Because ain't nobody else offering nothing like this. But our mission is here, is to wake up the masses about this here. So look at the debt. This is their debt clock. They don't hide this stuff. The Muslim Muhammad told us that. He said the enemy just gonna outright come and tell you what they're doing. They're not gonna hide. They're not gonna be able to hide it. So here it is right here. Look at the debt of America. National debt, $30.4 trillion. every citizen owes $91.5 Every taxpayer owes $242.5 The federal spending budget is $6.2 trillion. The deficit budget is almost $2.1 trillion. But they say the federal actual is 6.3, and the federal budget deficit is 2.1, almost 2.2 trillion. So if we look at United States federal debt to GDP ratio, it is now in the red, 128.92%. Wow. Then we go down and we look at the total debt of America. I want to blow it up so you can see it. I don't want nobody to have any excuses. And it's running right now, millions of dollars, because they are doing something called fractional reserve lending. So as every time you put a deposit in there, and then the next person come get a loan, whether it's a credit loan, a business loan, a student loan, a car loan, a mortgage loan, they produce more numbers. So loans are steadily going on, so they steadily producing. So as long as the banks is lending, they're gonna keep this going. So as long as the people are getting credit, this keeps going. But look at the total debt of America, $90.4 trillion. We showed some video where the minister was talking and the debt was at 234 trillion. Right? We showed clips of the minister talking about what we need to do going all the way back to the 80s. I showed video in the 80s, mid 80s. Show the video early 90s. Show the video late 90s. Show the video in the mid 2000s. We show videos going up all the way to this timeline right now, where we at right now. But you look at America, this is what the Federal Reserve has set up. And they have created the IRS to make us to enforce the taxes. That's to enforce the taxes. So this debt can keep going on. They created the ADL for anybody to stand up like the minister stands up. They call them anti-Semitic. Now, I was talking to somebody last night, and she was saying that, you know, people saying this and that about this and that, a scam and all that. I said, but the biggest scam is a paycheck. The biggest scam is taxes. We haven't got any reparation from America for the transatlantic slave trade, but we ain't stopped paying taxes yet. We ain't stopped paying taxes yet, though. But we quick to say, oh, I think that's a scam or that's a pyramid. We quick to use that language. But America ain't gave us no reparation. This is a scam because it's steadily going up, right? From 108 years in running strong, but we still pay taxes. So we do pyramid schemes and scams all day long. We just don't do it when it's might benefit somebody that look like us. See, we don't got a problem with spending money with the Arabs, spending money with the Chinks, spending money with the Koreans, spending money with the Jews, spending money with the Gentile white. We don't got no problem with that. But we have a problem with spending some money with somebody getting inside a network where a black person is bringing it to you. That's when we have a problem. That's when we come up with all these stupid terminologies, pyramid scheme. They don't use that language in Africa and Europe. I mean, Africa and Asia. The Asians don't talk pyramid scheme. So what is this language? Because that come from America. That's something that the international bankers put out. So since we run around think everything that's good as an opportunity for us to get ahead, not just as a group and for us to close the wealth gap, but check it out. They do this so we will never see the real scam, the real pyramid scheme. So they put this out in the atmosphere. They put this out through certain publications, and then we go and get it and read it and think it's actual. It's coming from the enemy, right? Well, the SEC didn't regulate it. Well, who the hell is them? Well, the Fed don't, the government don't approve it. We can't do this and that and the third. All right? The Federal Reserve is unconstitutional. You gotta go study the Constitution. It's unconstitutional. This is what we said. You feel me? This is what's going on. So they put this stuff out so we can go and get it and read it, and then we put it on our lips, then we pump it to our children. Oh, don't get inside the network marketing. Don't get with crypto. That's a scam. That's a scheme. Well, now we have become a co-conspirator, a co-agent, a co-aider to the Federal Reserve System then. Because they put that out. Obviously they did. Because they can't tell us about something being a pyramid scam or a scheme. But what is this? What is the job? People say all the time, oh, man, that sounds like a pyramid scheme. But what is a pyramid scheme? Oh, you know, the person at the top that make the most money. Man, you literally, I hope you ain't got no job because you just described your job. That's what you just described. All you got to do is stop and think. Stop and think. You just described a job. People at the top make the most money. And you can never get to that plateau to own another company or even managing the company. You can get to a supervisor position, but that will be it. And you will not be, and you can't die or pass that down, and they tell your children, hey, come on up here and replace your father, replace your uncle, replace your granddad, replace your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your auntie. She worked here for 30, 40 years. Come and replace her. That ain't happening. So what is the real pyramid scheme? Well, you're looking at it. So only thing that upholds this is our ignorance of it. That's why Henry Ford, yes, the great entrepreneur, the man that invented the Ford automobile, what is his famous quote? If the American people understood our banking system, it would be a revolution in the morning. That's what he said. So if it ain't a run on the bank, that means a run on the banks. That's the revolution he's talking about, where everybody go and try to get their money out the bank. And then when everybody the half of the people gonna see that they ain't even got no money in the bank. You think you got some money in the bank. You don't have any money in the bank. Because when there's a run on the bank, only the first few that come gonna be able to get anything out of there. But if it's a run on the bank, that means the dollar has failed completely. So you can go and get that cash out of the ATM, out of the bank. It will be useless. Get ready for that. It just happened in Russia. It just happened in Ukraine. Because they have central banks. So understand that this is what Forward Money Network is all about. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed to our main YouTube channel, Forward Money Network, we got a whole host of this stuff. Please go do so. We got 914 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 1,000. So go and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to what we do in Forward Money Network. We got videos for days breaking down this science and also showing you what we doing. We got playlists, right? We got a playlist of Project Exodus 10,000. We got playlists of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Business is Warfare. We got playlists of the minister breaking the science down, teaching it. 29 videos over there, excerpts of him teaching us and guiding us what we need to do financially. All right. And we also got other videos dealing with our decentralized blockchain bank that we involved in and that we bring it to the masses. Because the minister said, what program is available? He said, what program is available, right? Well, we bringing you a program that's available for all. We bringing you a program that's available for all. So go and partake and subscribe to Forward Money Network so we can get to that 1,000 subscribers that we are shooting for. So please go and show our support. We don't ask for your cash app, nothing. Just join the team, join the network so we can bring more people to the network. With that being said, family, we out of here.